Graham, the Reserve Bank today launched a pilot program for its own digital currency, which will include the ANZ and Commonwealth banks. Business editor Ross Greenwood joins me now. Ross, is this like the RBA issuing a Bitcoin?
Not quite, almost, but not quite. So this is almost a stable coin backed by the Reserve Bank, and it is a trial, so it's a pilot program, but it would actually see effectively a digital currency created in Australia, which would be on a blockchain, which would be similar to the way in which cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin do operate. But in this case, it would be linked and backed by the Australian dollar and the Reserve Bank. Now, quite clearly, a lot of us right now have digital transactions, but the reality is that if you were to go onto this type of a stable coin, a Reserve Bank, a central bank-backed digital currency, effectively you could transfer money almost immediately or have a range of different, if you like, parameters on which that money might be paid to somebody else. So the Commonwealth Bank, as you say, is a part of this. Sophie Gilder is the head of blockchain and also digital currencies at the Commonwealth Bank. I spoke to her a little earlier. There's a little of what she had to say.
The exciting thing here is if it's on blockchain rails, it means that you can interact with the digital dollar and a digital asset using smart contracts. So computer code that says if this, then that. So imagine you can automate a whole lot of transactions that today you need an intermediary to be involved in.
Ross, as the government launched that inquiry into the future of Australia Post's loss-making letters division, you've been speaking with its chief executive.
Yeah, Paul Graham is the chief executive, and the real fundamental issue here is that Australia Post has a highly profitable parcels delivery business, including Star Trek Express. But on the other side of it, it's the letters division is basically dying, and this is going to lead Australia Post to its first loss this year since 2017. Now, the real issue is you could try and fix it, raise the price of stamps to astronomical levels so that people just stop using the service, or indeed try and find some other way to subsidise it, reduce the number of times that the post comes to you, whole range of different things. So I asked Paul Graham about what would actually happen to this letters division if it was sitting inside a private company rather than the government.
Well, they've lost $189 million in the last 6 months, so I think you can predict what that state would be. But we are a glass half full business. We have a growing parcel business, we have a growing business in our bank at Post and other services that we are providing, but we do need to have a review of the mail business, which is why, again, we welcome the government submission.
And as we're in the last hour of trading, Ross, how have the markets fared?
Well, at the beginning, it was actually firmly higher, almost 0.25% higher at the beginning of trading, but it has really drifted off in the last little while. So if we have a quick look at the ASX 200, live prices here, down by about 0.01%. It's flat, all right? You can see it's actually gone off those highs of the early morning and pretty much come around flat. As I say, not too much going on out there on the stock market. A relatively quiet day compared with recent days, at least anyway.